Hello everyone, welcome back. Today is Tuesday and it is the 30th of March. I am tickled to death to be able to come back today and let you know what I've been working on. My March Madness had me working on my final project. It's a Christmas village ornament, and I keep calling it the Christmas vintage ornament. I'm sorry, they look vintage to me, and that just stuck in my brain. But it's the Christmas village ornaments. It's by dimensions. This is what the packet looks like. And I have been working on this first one in the series here that has Santa on top of the house. And that these are all full coverage, but this was one of my final contenders in my March Madness and wound up being the final one that I worked on. And I did get to do 800 stitches on it before the end of the last video, and I showed you where I got, but I mentioned that I might just go ahead and continue working because I'd really like to finish it this month. So I'm happy to tell you I did. This is mine. I think it's beautiful. The full coverage is pretty anyway, but this is a perfect example of how backstitching just brings to life a picture. Because if you've been watching me stitch this, it almost looked out of focus. It almost looked blurry as you're stitching it. And now that everything is backstitched, look at how this couple pop out. Look how Santa Claus and his sleigh pops out. It's just amazing to me. When I was backstitching in here, I found out she's carrying a shopping bag and he's got 3 presents piled up in here, and they're passing each other on the street, which is just precious. Anyway, there's a greenery around the front door, red bows in the window, and you know, the red bow and greenery across the top. But I will tell you my favorite part. My favorite part of all of it is the roof tiles, the shingle look to that roof. It's so vintage and it's so precious. And that's done totally by backstitching. The roof is stitched in 2 to 3 different colors. And then when you do the backstitching, all of a sudden you see the shingles look as if they're highlighted at the same spot in each one, only because you're doing that honeycomb shape around it appropriately. I was a little nervous about it, but it turned out really beautifully, and I didn't have to frog it, which is great. So that is probably my favorite part of this ornament, is the roof, the roof on the house. I love the way that the trees look like you can see snow gathered on their branches as well. But I think my favorite of all, everything in it, is the roof. Just because it pops, it just makes it so unique looking. So there you have it. My March Madness completed with 2 finishes, and I'm extremely happy about that. So that is truly the end of my March Madness, and it's just in time because tomorrow is the 31st, and I will take some time, sit and plan for my April, get everything ready, figure out what I'm going to stitch on for all the acrostics. You know, it'll be a great planning day, and I may even get to do a little fully finishing on a piece, and if so, you know, I'll come and share it with you. Happy stitching, everybody, and I don't think you'll see this before, but just so you'll know, I'm wishing you a happy Easter. Hi everyone, it's Dina. I'm back again to let you know it is April the 1st. And even though this is Thursday and I only have a little time before next Monday, I decided I would roll the die and see how many stitches I should try to get in over the weekend. I'm gonna stop the camera here, turn it around, and I'm gonna roll the dice, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's April 1st. Let's see what the roll of the die brings for us today. 500 stitches. Okay, well, I have a few days of busyness, but I've got 500 stitches to stitch in this piece this weekend if I can. I'm glad this was a practice. I am going to pull it out and I am going to work on it. I don't know that I'll get 500 because I need to stitch some other prompts, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a try. We'll see. So I will put in a picture here of my starting point. And then I will certainly, of course, show you my ending point as well. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everyone. This is Tina. Welcome back. It is Saturday. It's the 3rd of April, and I'm here to give you a stitching report from yesterday. I did finish up my 500 stitches on gathering eggs for this week. So I want to show you my progress. You'll notice a whole lot of stitching going on in here. I started at the top and picked a color and worked that color down until it met another big clump of confetti. And then when I finished that little bit of stitching, where now I have everything stitched down to here, I came back over here and I went ahead and did border, because that gets me stitches really quick. And knowing I had to get 500 stitches and only had 3 days to do it, I went ahead and extended this border on down. So I plan on doing that each time if I can. I want to work on some confetti stitching and then maybe some easy stitching to see it progress quickly. So this is my focus piece for the month. You'll get to see it at least once a week, I hope. And I wanted to share where I had gotten to with you. So now for the rest of the weekend, this Easter weekend, I can stitch on other things to meet prompts. And so I am going to be doing that shortly. And when I have enough to share with you, I'll be back and share that with you. Talk to you soon. Happy stitching. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tina. Today is April the 5th. It's Monday. But I wanted to come in and share with you what I stitched on over the weekend. And this is what I was working on. This is a gift for my sister's mother's, Ellen, and she's adopted me as her 3rd daughter. And so this will be a gift for her. And here's what I'm doing with it. I actually have a box that has come in, and I have it right over here. I'm going to get it in a minute and share it with you, that I'm making this for. And so the poem part I've stitched. It's here, right there. And now I'm stitching this portion, and the poem is going to go on the top outside of the box, I think, or one or the other. And the picture's going to go on either the top or the inside. So I'm going to split it in half and put half of it on the outside of the box and half of it on the top of the inside of the box. So let me show you. Let me show you that box. So here's the box. This is a tea storage box. It's a really pretty stained wooden box. You can see the lid is right here. And when you see the top of it is glass. And there's just a tiny, tiny lip in there. So I'm gonna have to use very thin board to put this on. But I'm gonna pat it anyway on the top. And so it'll go here. And then when I open it up, the other part will be on the back side of this to cover all the gluing and that sort of thing. But this is a tea box. And she loves tea, which is what this poem is about. And so I'm going to fill it full of her favorite English tea, and that will be her present. So anyway, I wanted to share with you, this is what I was working on Sunday. Easter Sunday, what little bit of time I had to stitch, I did that part. So that's what I got done, and that's all I got done. We had a great day. We went to church. My husband sang in the early morning service in a quartet, and then he and I both sang in the main service with the choir, and we were all masked, but it was beautiful anyway, and so wonderful to be back together. It was lovely. Then we had lunch with friends that had invited us to their home, and we each of the ladies, there were 3 couples, and each of us cooked part of the meal, and we had Easter together. And then Sunday night we had Chinese with our son to celebrate our Easter meal together, and so the day just went on and on in the most fun ways. So I had a great time. I hope you had a good Easter. Now it's Monday morning. I need to roll the die and see how many stitches I need to put in to my gathering eggs. So let me show you where I'm at right now. You'll remember this is where I got to the last time. So this is where I'll be starting this time. So I'm going to roll the dice now and see what we get. Of course. 6, which means I have to stitch 600 stitches in that piece this week. That's funny. Okay, so I'm going to put the die back in the game that I'm borrowing it out of. 600 this week, y'all. Okay, I'll get started on that some today. I think I may break it up and do, even if I only do 100 stitches a day, I'll make it. Because today I want to get started on my Little Sheep Virtues remix, because I'm stitching on it for the prompt in cross stitch finish line of 1 in a series, and so I want to work on it, and then on and I don't have to do too much, I just need to participate in it so I can get it started, and then I can switch over and do my gathering eggs for the rest of the day, and that'll be fun. So that's what I have planned for today, and as soon as I have something to share with you, I'll come back and film it. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is late in the afternoon on Monday, and I am back to share with you my stitching progress so far today. I started working on my Simplicity Little Sheep Virtue. That's number 6 in the series, and it started on the row in the middle. So there you go. Well, I learned something today. I should not have put this border in here or here. I should have just put a line here, because putting the border here and here shortened the amount of space I had to work on this one, and I didn't realize that. So I had to adjust, and I started at the bottom, so I didn't know I needed to adjust yet, and I did the name of the virtue in the large letters that calls for, and the heart, and then I did the grass. And when I started to do this first tree, this flower would have been right up in here. So I had to frog out part of the tree, take down the height of the tree, take out some of the leaves that will no longer fit in there, and now my flowers will fit barely. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers. Maybe 6. I've got to see how many are going to fit in there. It may be 4, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. But anyway, I'll make it fit. I'll do the flowers there, pretty as you please, and then I'll come over here. I know the lamb will fit just fine. And then when I do the birdhouse, I may have to shorten the pole on the birdhouse as well. So I haven't even looked at the next virtue over here to see if I'm going to be able to shorten it to fit. But I'll work on it and get it done. But in designing the border myself, I don't know why I felt the need to put that one in here. I guess because I couldn't get it to meet up any other way here. And it looks really pretty, but it shortened my picture. Anyway, at least these will be the same. They'll be the same height as each other, and I'll go from there. Lessons learned, watch what you're doing. Anyway, this represents 300 stitches today, exactly. I didn't count the ones I stitched and frogged, but 300 stitches that are remaining in my little sheep virtues, and I did get it on a scroll frame today, even though it's right to the edge. It's okay if it wrinkles a little bit of that fabric because I got plenty of room when I frame it, so I'll be okay. But I finally got it on a scroll frame. So that is my stitching for today for several different prompts. First, I'm doing the ABC Sal in cross stitch finish line, and so that will meet the prompt for that. And then I'm doing another prompt that asks for a whip that you were inspired to start after seeing it, from someone's video. And of course, the combination of these little sheep virtues with the stitched piece in the middle, I definitely wasn't able to stitch after seeing someone else do that. So that meets that prompt, and that's why I had to have 300 stitches exactly to do that. And then I'm also using this for my 24 hours of cross stitch across stick. This month I'm doing punch and stab. That's supposed to be sort of the way that I stitch rather than the sewing method. And for punch has a C in it, and I'm using this little sheep virtues for the C. I'm calling it my combination because I'm combining two artists into that picture. So I've got combination sheep virtues, and I've now met that prompt in the 24 hours acrostic, the April acrostic. And so that makes me feel good that I've been able to get that much done today. I didn't get any stitching done so far on my gathering eggs. I will put all this in my Facebook groups and post everything, and then what I will do is see how much time I have left to stitch tonight, and I'll just get started and I'll stitch till I'm ready to stop on gathering eggs. I'll do that last instead of first like I had hoped to do today. So there you have it. I've met 3 prompts today with 1 whip. I enjoy doing that. That's a lot of fun to make it work out that way. So I've had a great day. My son got home early today. They had a very light surgery day, and so he called me and wanted to know if I wanted to meet him for lunch. So that was awesome. And I will take just a moment, if you don't mind, and go ahead and speak to that, because I've had so many of you reach out to me in the comments and ask me how my son is doing. So I'll take a minute, if you don't mind, and tell you how my son is doing. So let me just give you an update. We had a situation here a couple of weeks back. On one of the videos, I actually mentioned that my son was having a test the next day because there was a concern that he might be throwing blood clots in his lungs because he couldn't breathe hardly at all. I am happy to let you know that that test came back clear as a bell. He has no problems whatsoever with blood clots, and they did a Doppler deep vein study from the bottom of his legs up through his abdomen, so he's doing great. He went to see his physician that afternoon, and they ran some tests, and they did chest x-rays and everything, trying to figure out why he couldn't breathe, because he is struggling to breathe, and it's visible. You can see it, you can hear it. And his doctor was quite concerned, and then in looking through his record and talking with him, because we moved here just three and a half years ago, they didn't know his history as a child. He had asthma as a child. And so apparently, the place we live has a very high pollen and very high count with the botanical gardens, you know, and everything blooming. Allergies are not easily managed here. It's a small part of the year, but it's very, very real. And his asthma kicked in with a vengeance, and he can hardly breathe. And so he's on a rescue inhaler. It seems to do the trick. And so for now, he has to use it all day, every 4 hours, and then he keeps it with him at all times for an emergency. And it's very hard to see someone get up off a couch and walk across the room and can't breathe. That little bit of exertion takes all of his breath away. And so he has to be very careful what he does. And so he's managing it, he's watching it, he's minimizing efforts, not because he's lazy, but because he wants to be able to breathe well. And this is a temporary situation, we hope. Once all the pollen counts and things get back down, we're hoping that he will go back to a more normal, you know, amount of allergy. So keep your prayers for him. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll give you an update later. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Dina, and it is Wednesday, April the 7th, and I'm here to give you a stitching update. It's been kind of an interesting week. I've got some car stitching, travel stitching I've been doing. It's in the car. But anyway, it's just putting in a few more stitches into that gift I'm making for my friend's mother, Stephanie's mom. And other than that, what I've been stitching on is gathering eggs. Gathering eggs is my focus for the month. And I was looking to see if my picture was anywhere nearby, but of course it's not. But I had decided I would roll the dice on each Monday, and I would try to stitch that number of stitches for that week, and see if I couldn't get a good bit of progress on this piece, because it's been languishing for a little while. My friend Laura and I have been stitching this together in a bit of a stitch along. We've kind of stitched on it in spurts apart from each other, as we had other things we were trying to work on, and now we're kind of both trying to focus on it this month. So Laura and I have joined forces, and this Monday I rolled the dice and I got a 6 for 600 stitches. And even though Laura rolled her dice and got 3, we talked about it and decided we would do it together. So she jumped up and joined me for the 600 stitches this week, and she's putting more into hers. And next Monday morning, Laura is going to roll the dice, and she's going to tell me what she rolls, and that's what I'm going to stitch. And we're just going to go back and forth each week and let each of us have a chance at rolling the number. So now what I want to do is share with you what I've worked on and how far 600 stitches took me. I hope you can tell there's a bit of a difference. The first thing that I did was go over here in these beautiful pink long flowers there that look like long stems that have flowers, you know, growing all the way up them. And I did all of the confetti stitching in it down to about right here, and then I just did the rest of them until my thread color ran out. So this isn't all of that stitching done down in here, but it is to about right here finished. Then I came up here and I started stitching that beautiful background row by row until I ran out of a thread as well. And then I came down and decided I would stitch on the little girl because I want to make sure she fits no matter what. And so I started working on her top, and I got quite a bit of it done. In fact, I've got 2 colors worked on down to about right here. And then I again let my thread run out as I went down here. I even came over here, put a little bit of the yellow in the flowers here to run that thread out. So basically I just kept stitching with that color until I ran out of either places to stitch or thread. And then I would put it away and go to another color. The purpose of that, of course, was to try to get some of this confetti completely done, and then to try to start bringing that background down a little further as I go so I can roll it up. put it up a little higher on the Q-snap as I need to get to the bottom. And I also wanted to get down and get more done on her so that I can work around her as I get her outer borders done. So this time I did a little bit of the border, but I did it on this side on my first day of stitching. So the way my week has gone, Monday when I rolled the dice, I actually only got 47 stitches in this piece. I wound up stitching on something else for a prompt, and I got about 300 stitches in it, but I barely got to touch this one that day. So on Tuesday, I concentrated on this one, and I put an additional grouping of stitches into it until I reached 301 total so far. Then I used that for a prompt. And then today I picked back up. Today's Wednesday. I picked back up and I stitched another 318 stitches today. So that is a total of 619 stitches this week that I've put into this piece. And I love it. I'm working down almost in the middle. In fact, the middle is probably right about here. So that's just about to the middle of the piece, which is great. I'm excited about that. So I'm going to put her away for a little while. I would like a little break so I don't get burnt out with her. And I have other prompts that I need to work on that I would like to do, like my acrostics for 24 hours cross stitch. So I need to pick up a new piece and do that this evening. Well, I'm going to let you get back to stitching. I've been having a great day today. I was able to answer the remaining comments that have come in so far this morning on my last video. I can't thank you enough for all the comments. But if it takes a day or two to get your comment back, rest assured it's coming. It's just, I had that many at one time, I couldn't keep up. And Coco and I have taken a nice long walk today in the neighborhood. That was so much fun. And I think she enjoyed it because she is napping away on the couch right now. My son and I went shopping today, and we've got her a little surprise for later on. We want to try to watch a TV show this evening, and that's usually about the time she wants to play really hard. So we got her a wonderful brownie, a liver brownie at a local pet store, so pet shop. And my son wants to give that to her tonight after dinner. So that'll be fun. She'll have a great evening. So I will be back later if I have any stitching to share with you today, but it'll probably be tomorrow before I get a chance to do any more sharing. But I will as soon as I have it. I'll come back and share it with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, welcome. This is Dina. It is Thursday. It is the 8th of April. And I am here to give you an update of the stitching that I finished last night on April the 7th. I was able to work on 2 projects yesterday, and I reported on one of them yesterday, and then I mentioned that I was going to be trying to get a little more time to stitch if I could, and I was so fortunate to be able to do that. After Coco and I went outside and we went into a little portion of our backyard is fenced. It's right around the door to my son's apartment. And I took her in the fence and with her tennis balls. We had a couple of tennis balls and we chase those. And when I take her in the little fence there, I can just let her run. I don't have to put her on a leash or anything. And so that allows her to feel free. And it is a small space, but it's enough to give her a good, I can lob the tennis ball, you know, and she can run and get it. And we did that for a while. So after that, she was a little tired and she was quiet and would sit and rest and allowed me to get some stitching done. So I want to show you what I was able to accomplish. I have in the 24 hours of cross stitch April acrostic. I chose to do punch and stab because I actually do punch my through my fabric. I don't do the sewing method. I don't feel I get good uniformity of my stitches when I do that. So I do the punch and stab method. And so in the punch and stab, in the word and, for the letter N, I chose to stitch on my winter Quaker. Now, what has winter Quaker got to do with N? Because I need another motif finished. So that's how I tied it together. Anyway, this is the motif that I did yesterday. This one right here. This was a 432 stitch motif. I think it's beautiful. Beautiful variegation there. And the reason that I needed to do that is that at some point on my whip go board, this one's going to come up. And the goal there is to stitch all the way across one row. So I'm happy to report that there's a bird here, a square motif here, and a star shaped, sort of like this, motif right here. And then there are all these little snowflakes all around in here. So the good news is this is the most dense, largest motif left on the row. So I went ahead and tackled that. And I did it because I was doing it for that prompt, but it also will help me out when it comes up on the whip go board. So that's wonderful. Anyway, this certainly qualifies for my cross stick stitching, and I'm very, very pleased, with that. So that's what I got done last night. Now, since I'm doing my focus on the gathering eggs, I'm stitching, as you know, whatever I roll on the dice on Monday. And then I gave you an update yesterday that Laura and I are going to, alternate who's going to roll the dice every Monday. So that's fun. So I'm waiting until she rolls the dice on Monday to know what to stitch next week on there. But I've hit my 600 for this week. So that means I have free stitching. And I'm going to be doing that the rest of the week. So in my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic for April, I have Pandemic, I have Mermaid that I'm using, I have one for Nativity, Sleepy Hollow. I've got all kinds of projects that I could pick up in this free time to hit one of those prompts this month. So I'm just not going to decide right this minute. I'm going to wait and surprise you. I will say that I won't be stitching until this afternoon because today is my canasta day, and I'm excited about that. I enjoy seeing these ladies. We now have a group of 8 of us who have all been vaccinated, both shots. We're fully vaccinated. We're fully past the waiting time, and we're meeting now in our church Family Life Center in one of the meeting rooms, and we're playing canasta on Thursdays. And so that's exciting. It's a set day. I can plan for it. Now, this week, my daycare wasn't available for today, and so Coco will be here by herself. So I'm only going to go and play one game of canasta, and that'll be fun, and I can see everybody, and then I can come home, and Coco and I can go to the park. So I'm excited about doing that with her. I'm excited about getting to, have some time with my friends. And then when I get home and Coco's all wore out and can take a nap this afternoon, I'll get some stitching done. So I'm going to wait and surprise you with what I do. I hope you're having a great week. I know I am, and I am looking forward to see what I get to work on this afternoon. But I'll be back and share it with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Friday, it is the 9th of April, and I'm here with a bit of an update for you. I have been working on a personal goal, not one that was for WhipGo. I'm going to be able to turn it into a prompt, which is great. I will meet a prompt. I had to get exactly 260 stitches in a prompt, and I was able to do that. But I continued stitching after that and finished a personal goal. You may recall, if you've watched several of my videos, that I'm working on a Teresa Wentzler pattern called the Nativity. It is quite beautiful. And this is a restart because of a problem I had with linen that was too small a count before, distorting faces. And so I got to a crisis point or a decision point with this one because I started it over on 28 count instead of the 32 count that I began with. And my decision point was going to be when I got down far enough to do the first 1/1 face and to make sure that that face wasn't going to be distorted. I had done half of the picture before. I had powered it through anyway, and I had done 3 of the faces. I had done all the faces except the babies, and none of them looked right. And so in the first one that I tried. So this was a critical point for me. If the face didn't at least look decent, I wasn't going to continue with the piece. I love it, but I wasn't going to continue with it if it wasn't going to look good in the end. So yesterday I got started on the angel's face, and this morning I finished it. So here's what it looks like. Let me move this light out of the way so I can get this up a little higher, and you can see the face. I think that's a pretty decent face of the angel. And you can see the eyes, nose, and mouth, and you can see there's a little turn up in the mouth that he's smiling. And it goes, of course, down his neck, you know, to the top of his shirt right here, the gown that he'll be wearing. But I wanted to get the face in there to see if I was going to like it well enough to keep going. And I think it looks fine. So, yay! I get to keep working on it. So that was huge. It really was huge. It was, oh goodness, 759 stitches total in that face. A lot of stitching in the last 2 days to get that done. But that was a small personal goal, and when I was doing my free stitching, I decided it's not, you know, for a prompt or anything, it's just whatever I want to be working on, that I was going to tackle that and do that, and I'm really, really glad that I did. So I've looked at my WhipGo board, and I've decided that even though I have already reached my 5 hours goal on Block Party, I would like to set a new goal for the weekend. And what I would like to do is to finish the top section of the Block Party itself, the block. It's not quite halfway there. It's probably about a third of the way there. And so I would like to pull that back out today and work on it today and tomorrow and see if I can't get that finished. I'll post my prompt that I'm going to use my nativity to meet, and I'll get that put back away in my closet there in storage until the next time I pull it out. And I am also hoping to get to stitch with some friends virtually this weekend. We're trying to set it up for this afternoon, and if we can't, then we will set it up for tomorrow possibly. So I will talk to you soon, and I hope that you are having a lovely time stitching on whatever it is you're working on today. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, welcome back. This is Dina. Today is Saturday, and it is the 10th of April, and I have been working on a WhipGo weekend goal today. I decided to participate somewhat in the WhipGo weekend by picking one goal. I had some other stitching I needed to do, but I picked a goal, and that goal was to take my WhipGo whip that's the Block Party from Hands On Design. I had started it for WhipGo as one of the called spots, and it was to, I decided I would put 500 stitches in it. I'm sorry, 5 hours in it, and that would be my WhipGo goal. And so I wanted to do that, and I did. So for the weekend, I thought, I would like to get more progress on this. So I set a new goal to complete the top square, the whole top. I had about a third of it done. I had a whole quadrant done and part of a second quadrant. So I had the solid brown puppy done, and I had a portion of this puppy right here. So as I got to looking at them, I realized this puppy resembled very much our first puppy that we got for our son, JT, and he had named that puppy Tyrannosaurus Rex, and we called him Rex. And then the second puppy that we had, my husband brought home with him one day after work. People he worked with were giving it away for free to a good home. And he brought her home, and Jeremy named her Patches because she was white with black and brown spots all over her. Mostly black spots. She had a little bit of brown. And so this one reminded me of Patches. And so I got an idea then to make each dog successfully look like the next dog in our family. So after Patches passed away, we adopted Riblet she was a rescue, and she looked a little bit like a beagle in the face, but she had the body of a Jack Russell Terrier. She was a Heinz 57, as they say, but this is to represent her because she had a lot of white on her, and her muzzle looked more like a beagle. And then as she aged, her complete face turned white, and she was just absolutely beautiful. We had her 14 years before she died, and so that's to represent Riblet. And then this is to represent my current little baby, Patches, and right here. So let's turn this around. So here's Patches. I used a variegated floss called Fudge Ripple, and it's a beauty. This is what it looks like. I used it for her fur because it has light and dark all running through it, and that's kind of what her fur looks like now. And so I used it by itself in the ears because her ears are darker, and her little nose area is darker, and then her bearded area is a little bit of white and brown. So I mixed the Fudge Ripple with white and did her muzzle here and her body. And then I used white for the tip of her tail because she has that white fluff of a tail in the back. And so this represents Coco. So these are the last 4 dogs we've had in our family, and they're probably the only dogs that our son remembers. We had one before Rex, but I don't think JT remembers that one. And so anyway, this represents the puppies. So as you see, I've put their names in here because I'm not going to put the blue wool on the top. I decided I'd rather have it personalized with their names on it to represent each little puppy. So this part of it is completely done, back stitch and all. And so I actually have a little finish, and I'm going to count it as a little finish and put it in my Stitch from Stash because I don't know how long it'll be before I start working on the second part, which is the big long piece that's the sides that goes around the block. So I'm going to put this one away for a while, call it a finish, and work on something different tomorrow. So this, I had said I was going to surprise you with what I was going to work on, and because I wasn't sure yet if I was going to try for the Whip Go weekend. So I'm going to go see now if I've done enough to meet the requirements and see if I need to post it. But I will hit the hay soon, and I'll start over again tomorrow. So happy stitching, you guys. Thanks for letting me share it with you. Night.
brush. Here, clean your feet. Good girl, good girl. Now clean your other foot. Good girl. Alright. Sometimes she gets real anxious. She can't wait for it. Drop it. You have it. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. You ready? Here goes. That's a good girl. You can't have both. Hello! Okay, drop your ball. Come on. That's a good girl. Come on, drop it in here. Oh, here we go. All right, come on, drop it down here. There we go. See up there? Can't quite get her to drop it inside, and when she does drop it inside, then go for it. All right, drop that ball. Drop it. There you go. Good girl. Now push it on down. Good girl. Push it. Push it. Push it. Good girl. Good drop. All right, there you go. Push it. Drop it. Good girl. Yes. Go get it. Go get it. Yes. The first time she's done that. Yes.